Hello, everyone. My name's Hank Setala, and I am here with Angie, and we are going to be doing some inspirations from spirit. Angie's going to focus on mediumship, and I'm going to just do more of an intuitive facilitation between shamanism and access consciousness. But first, just to give you a little introduction of who we are, because some people are watching because of Angie, and some people are watching because of me, and the rest of you don't know who the other person is.
Yeah, right.
So, Angie, why don't you go?
Yeah, we know each other, but they don't
Yeah,
know.
we know each other, but you guys
Yeah,
might not know us. So,
yeah,
why don't you go ahead first, Angie, and introduce yourself, who you are, and
yeah.
a little bit about.
I'm Angie Hewett-Abt. I'm a practicing medium. I've been a medium doing this kind of work since I was in my 20s, so a pretty long time. I met Hank. We're both graduates of Fellowships of the Spirit School right in Lilydale, and that's how we met. But I trained there, and actually on the faculty now, so I teach there as well. What else? I own Santosha Holistic Center in Williamsville, New York, and teach lots of classes. And I'm a registered medium in Lilydale now too.
Very
Kind of
cool.
exciting. Yeah.
And speaking of classes, one of the classes she's teaching is next Saturday, an intuitive development class, which I'm virtually hosting for. So if that's of interest, I'll post the link a little bit later. And
Yeah.
also, before I introduce me, I'm going to post a link. This is not to come on air yet. This is a link on the best practices to come on air. So if you're planning on being brave and willing to come on air with us to receive your message, I'm going to be sending a link out where you can join us in the studio. And this is just a preliminary link just to tell you the best way to come on so your
Yeah.
microphone doesn't blow up or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my
So we can all hear each other, right, Hank?
Yeah, that's my hope. We had like some weird audio things going on last time, and I think what it might have been is people being in the studio and having the stream active on Facebook. So if you are going to come on live, as soon as you're in studio, please close out of Facebook. That way, I'm hoping that we eliminate that issue. So we'll be posting that here in just a moment. And my name's Hank Setala. As Angie already said, we met through Fellowships of the Spirit. We're both graduates there, and though I do have the training for mediumship and everything, I want more of the healing approach. And when I work with clients, I call it an intuitive facilitation. I sometimes bring through spirit, but usually it's more coming up with a question, because I believe there's a lot of power in questions, and asking the right question that will start spirit delivering you the opportunity, like things that are going to actualize what you're looking to bring into your life. So questions are magical, and
Oh
that's
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that I can get you advice from spirit for sure, and definitely like help you with your life path or connect you with your loved ones. But really, like that like it's a good start, and I always feel like it's good advice or counseling sometimes that comes through. And what Hank is doing is fantastic because he's giving you something that you can actually do to manifest whatever we're talking about into your life, right,
Yep.
Hank, or make
Yep,
changes.
absolutely. And it works out really well because she likes talking to the dead people and I don't. And we just do our own thing. Before we get started, what I'm going to do is, from a shamanic perspective, open up some space, and then Angie will say her prayer, and then we'll get started. Okay,
Let
so
me
I'm
I'm just going to throw this in quick too. That
sure.
always, like for us, like message work is always for highest and best and healing purposes. We always feel that way. And if you're listening and you're hearing a reading and it's not your reading, but it sounds like it is. It is okay,
Yeah,
because spirit works that way. When we work in groups or we work in public, spirit a lot of times like they're kind of directing you to us, to who we're giving the message to, and a lot of times they're doing that on purpose, making sure that we're giving a message that goes to other people and other people in the group, and that way more people get a message, right, Hank?
absolutely. And the other thing is, even if you don't feel it's for you, just wait a couple days, and all of a sudden something will pop up, and you'll think about back and something that either Angie said or I said, and you might just have a tool to deal with something that it might not have been relevant now, but a couple days from now it might be. So just have that openness that if you don't specifically get a message for you, that doesn't mean there's not possibility in the message that you did hear for other people.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I remember like years ago going to see Elaine Thomas in Lilydale, and that's where I always got my readings. And I was happy that she recorded them because sometimes I would think, I don't know if I agree with that. And I would listen to that tape again and I'd be like, oh, she was right. You know,
Or
she was
I
right.
love the people that get readings and they can't take something, and then you get a call like 3 days later, and all of a sudden they remember. I forget which one of my teachers said it. They called it spirit amnesia, like for that one.
Spirit amnesia. Yeah,
You had no
yeah.
clue who it was, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, or my first reading with Barbara Sanson, she nailed
Love her.
everything. She
Yeah.
nailed everything except for the very last part where she's like, my grandpa had a present that was supposed to be for me, and it was this beautiful knife. I'm like, no, it's a belt buckle. My brother stole it for drug money though, and she's like, no, he says it's a knife. And when I go home, my mom's like, oh my god, that was supposed to be for him, but I meant, and now I have it for you, and it was 100% right, but I didn't find out right away.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now lanes are always really good too. Sometimes future stuff, you know, like you don't know for sure with that, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. If you, oh, should I say? Would you want me to say the prayer? Or are you going
I'm going
first?
to open up a
Okay.
space first, if that's all right.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be
Perfect.
speaking in a language called Quechua. It's a South American dialect, and I'm just going to be basically calling in the earth, the water, winds, and different things like that. So let's do that, and then Angie will say her prayer, and then we'll get started.
Ah, yes.
Hahaya Pachamama, ompui, ompui, ompui. Ia ri mama unu, mama kocha, mama kia, ompui, ompui, ompui. Hahaya taxilerpu, ompui, ompui, ompui. Iari Taiwantan waira, ompui 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 waira. Iari hatan semakuntar, ompui ompui ompui. Hahaya sawikinti, ompui ompui ompui. Iari kuichi kuna, ompui ompui ompui. Iari inti taita, wilki inti taita, ompui ompui ompui. Iari Pakarina Kuna, the feminine nature spirits of our birthplace holding the blueprint for the perfect us. Ompui, 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 bring your healing here. Iari Itopakuna, all the masculine spirits of our places of emergence holding the blueprint for the perfect us. Bring your healing here. Ompui, ompui, ompui. Iari Wilka Nuna Cheska. Ompui, ompui, ompui. Iari Wirakocha. Ompui, ompui, ompui. All right.
Love that. I love that. That was good. I could feel the energy. That's awesome, Hank. You know, you should tell them quick because you come and you do chanting like that at your sound bath ceremonies, right?
Yep, on April 24th, I'll do one. I do it a little bit more tone based than this was just calling in the spirits without formally singing to them.
Yeah,
But I do that one before I call my sound bath ceremony and sound, and I combine the Peruvian shamanism with like crystal bowls and tuning forks. And there'll be a virtual one on the 24th if you're interested.
yeah.
Later,
Join us.
I'll
Join us.
post the website links.
Yeah, join us for that. Okay, I'm going to say my prayer. Okay. Oh God, as we open the door to communication in unity of the Holy Spirit, the great I am presence of the universe, we give thanks, for we know that the words spoken are filled with your love, truth, wisdom, and understanding of the highest. Amen.
Amen. Great. So, everyone, what we're planning to do is I'm about to post a link that will let people come on live video with us. When I do this, we're going to take the first 8 people. I'll say who the last person in line is. We're going to see time wise where we're at because we've never worked like this together before. So we want to make
Yeah,
sure we're
this
not
is
like
new.
yeah, we want to make sure we're not taking on more people than we can handle in the time that we have. And then we will also go through comments and things. And specifically, if you're going to want a reading and you're posting it in comments, think about what is the question you could ask that will create the most possibility for you and everybody else on in fact, for everybody, when you're coming on, even ask the question, what could I ask, say, to Angie and Hank, that
Yeah,
the answer and the vibration behind the answer could create the greatest possibility for me and everybody else. So
yeah,
before you say, well, get a new job, is that the question that will create the most? And it's okay if you ask that, that's
yeah.
okay. But if you feel the difference between the energies of what could I ask or what could I come into this with that's going to create possibility for me and everyone, that's a
Yeah,
whole different feeling of energy. Okay.
absolutely. We'll answer it that way anyway.
Yeah, probably. That's true.
So we'll answer it. It'll come through from spirit, so it's for everybody. And I love working like this.
All
This is
right.
awesome. Thank you everybody for coming on with us too.
And one final thing before I post a link is once you come in, make sure you do close out of the Facebook feed once you're in the studio because we think that that might be what was causing our audio issue the other day. So there we go.
Hank, I love that. Like coming in the studio, it makes me feel like we're actually all really together in a studio, and here we are in different places. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So when you click the link, it's going to take you to a place where you can make sure your camera and your microphone are correct, and then you'll click enter the studio, and then it's going to let 8 people in, and then we will go from there. And again, as Angie said, if you don't get the reading directly, then it's okay. It's going to apply for everybody, but we will try to get through as many people as we can. And best of all, we are planning to make this a regular thing.
Yes, we are.
So if
Yes,
it's not
we
this
are.
time,
Yeah.
it might be next time.
Spirit Inspirations
Oh,
with Angie and Hank.
yep.
Yeah. So you join us. So don't feel like if you didn't get a reading tonight, then join us next week and you'll get one then.
Yeah. We have our first live cadaver on the line already. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on.
Okay.
And guys, don't be shy if you oh, now people are coming on. Like I was surprised last time it was like boom and it was like full in like 2 seconds, and this time they're kind of trickling in a little bit more. So Navena, I hope I pronounced the name right. I'm going to bring you on, and then Irene, you are on deck. So here we go. Hello, you look familiar.
Yeah, I was there. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Were you in the last time?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I remember too. Yeah, I remember.
And I was crying. I was crying.
Oh yeah, and I love your smile. You have the best smile. You have the best smile. You really do. You make everybody happy. I feel like that about you right away. Is I feel like that's what you do. You make people happy, and I feel like you go out of your way, like all the time, to always try your best to make people happy. Right. I feel like you're a very nurturing person. Okay. And I feel like people love to be around you. I also feel this with you too. You have a lot of intuitive gifts of your own. And I feel like you give advice to people all the time. And very often it's coming from your intuition, right? Do you know that?
Yeah, I try to give, but I don't have advice for myself.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll give you some advice. But I feel like that's what you do. I want to say that I feel a gentleman stepping in behind you from the spirit side of life. All right. And this feels to me like father or grandfather. I'm on father's side of the house with this. Okay. I feel like he comes in. He was a good man, a kind man with a very good heart. And I feel like he had a lot of love in his eyes. He was a loving man. Do you understand this?
Okay. No, my grandfather passed away years ago.
Okay, and your father's still here? Is your father still in the living?
Yeah, my father is living. My mom passed away 5 years ago.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just let me finish this up because this feels like grandpa to me still anyway. And I feel like he steps in to let you know that he's around you and he's watching over you. And that's important. I feel like it's important for you to know that you have that guidance all the time. All right. Now, I feel as soon as you talked about your mom, I felt your mom come in, and how I heard her come in is I heard a laugh. Okay. I heard her laughing. I feel like she had a wonderful sense of humor. She was a very good-natured person. She was very loving. She loved you so much. I can feel the love in my heart, and I can see her like reaching out to give you an embrace. All right. And she says, you know, she was your person. You could talk to her about anything. And she's saying you're the same way too, that anybody can talk to you about anything. You're so open-minded and you'll listen. And she was a good advice giver. She's saying you are too. She's showing me that it's, I feel like you're almost at a crossroads trying to make some decisions right now about some different things that you want to do in your life. She's saying that she's with you. She's saying be patient, okay? Because over the next couple months or so, I feel like a couple of opportunities are going to come in for you, and it's going to be very easy for you to make the decision that you need to make, that you want to make. And I feel like it's going to lead, you're going to find yourself doing some new things, but they're going to be things that are going to satisfy your soul and make you happy. And I feel like that's what you're looking for. Like I'm hearing her say, you've taken care of everybody else and now it's time for you. Okay. And so you're doing the right thing by feeling that way. Know that she'll be with you. She will guide you. Okay. And in the next couple months, there will be some new opportunities for sure. And you'll know just what to do. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to let Hank hop in now too.
Yeah. And well, one thing that Angie said that I want to emphasize is we oftentimes we have we don't distinguish between being self first and selfish. Self first is when you're advocating for yourself, you're taking time for yourself. Selfish is if you're doing that at the expense of somebody else, and that's not you at all.
No.
You're very much needing to take the time for self first, though, because sometimes you don't take the time for you. But beyond that, you are very intuitive to the point where I think you scare yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like almost the question I want to give you to really start opening that up is, what am I aware of that I'm not willing to acknowledge that the body is acknowledging for me? Because I feel that some of the things that you're aware of, your body is still acknowledging, even though you, the being, isn't wanting to acknowledge it. So if you asked a question, what am I aware of that I'm not willing to acknowledge? See what pops up, because it really feels as though you're so aware that sometimes it feels like I don't want to be aware of that. And it reminds
Trust. Well, I just want to throw in too, trust your gut feelings, because I feel like you get gut feelings or knowing feelings all the time inside. Okay. And you're not sure. Like, I feel like sometimes you might know and kind of look back at it later on and say, oh, I knew that about this, or I knew I should have done this or that, things like that. So I feel like pay attention to those kinds of things. And Hank's right with what the question he's given you too.
Yeah, because especially like being an empath, which I'm sure you are, all of us are empaths. It's just a question of how much we're into that gift. It just feels as though there's a lot of things that you may be aware of that you might be wishing that you weren't aware of. but pretending you're not aware of them doesn't make it go away, because the body's still acknowledging it. So trust your knowing, and then ask, well, if I'm aware of this, what can I do with it? How can I change it? And see what inspiration spirit gives you to start shifting the things that you're aware of. Instead of living with them, you could actually be an inspiration for change.
Yeah. And,
It's
and,
Um,
and, and go ahead.
my question is, if I have intuitive powers, I'm still not able to use them for others or for myself. How should those powers come out? Like, how
yeah,
should I make
Come to
feel
tell her about our.
confident?
We're having a
Confident.
class on Saturday. You should come. I was thinking you should come
I
to
know.
the
I
class.
saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that
yeah.
class. I saw
Because
that
I'm going to
class.
give you like a lot of basic tools, and a lot of it, like it's natural, because we all have intuitive gifts,
Right.
so it's natural. In this class I'm going to teach is I'm going to give you the basics, so you can connect to those gut feelings and use your intuition for you and use it for other people too. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to. I will attend that class. I saw that class. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And then always, when you ask a question brings awareness. Other than why? Why is the one question you don't ask, because it just creates a loop. It's like a victim question. But when you ask the question, what energy could I be today to be more in tune with my intuition than any day before today? Ask a question like that in the morning when you wake up, and just watch throughout the day how things start to maybe shine to you and stand out to you. It's not that anything changed other than your willingness to perceive things around you in a new way. And all of a sudden, oh, I know that I'm supposed to look at that. That has a little bit of meaning for something somewhere else. And you start to open up that door by asking the question, how could I be more in tune with my intuition today than any day before today? And you ask that every morning, and it just starts to naturally unfold. But fast track it with the class or anything that shines to you. Like, actually, it comes up to me to recommend binaural beats. If you've ever had those meditation CDs where you listen with headphones and helps put your brain into theta, you're not familiar with it? So, like Dick Sutphin has a lot of this information. If you go to Dick Sutphin's website, he has a whole bunch of CDs that basically it puts 250 hertz in one ear, 256 hertz in the other ear, and the difference between them helps your brain go into theta. And in the theta state, you can help develop you can train your brain to go to theta more easily, and then that naturally opens up your intuition too, because of the brain entrainment.
I'll see that.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your mom is giving you a big hug and telling you how much she loves you. She's saying, "Be good to yourself."
Did she forgive me, Angie?
Yes. Oh, 100%. 100%. She's saying there really was nothing to
Nothing to
forgive.
forgive. I was
She
getting the
always
same
knew.
thing.
She always knew you loved her. Always. Nothing to
Okay.
forgive. So, okay, we'll leave that with you with lots of light and love.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Hank. Thank you, Angie.
Bye bye.
Okay. Take care. Nice to
Bye,
see you
bye, bye.
again.
You too.
Okay, and then I know that some people were saying that the link wasn't working. The link was correct. So you're supposed to use either like Chrome or Safari if you're trying to use Internet Explorer. That might be part of the issue. I posted a link right at the beginning with like what to do to come on and have a smooth coming into the studio. Irene, we're coming to you next, and then after Irene is Gail.
Okay.
Wow.
Irene?
Hi.
Oh, it's my
thank
buddy.
you.
Hi,
Yeah.
Irene.
Hi.
I can't hear Irene.
You can't hear Irene? Oh no.
Tell
Do
her
you
to
have,
turn her Facebook thing down, maybe.
is your Facebook, do you still have the Facebook feed open by chance?
No, I went out of it.
Interesting. I don't know why that happens, Angie.
I know. We'll get it
You
So
can,
figured
I
out.
do
you can hear me okay. So I may
It's
have,
technical stuff, Hank. We're figuring it out, right?
audio.
yeah, well, I can hear you fine. So it's either that or Angie has, maybe we should clear some entities. I don't know.
Yeah. Irene, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Then that's good. Then that's good. You can
Just
just
shake
shake
your
your
head
head,
really
yes
quick
or
one way or
no.
the other.
Yeah. So I want right away with you. Okay. I want to say there's a gentleman standing behind you and there's a woman standing behind you. Actually, two women and a gentleman. Okay. The gentleman shows me, and I know this because I've done messages for you before, that I feel like it's Michael. All right. And I feel like Michael's been in the house an awful lot lately. Okay. I feel like, I don't know if sometimes you're hearing creaking floors or door. Okay.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's him. He's kind of laughing and he's kind of getting a kick out of himself that he can do that. That's kind of exciting to him. Okay.
Many random
Now,
sounds. Yes.
now he shows me that with the project you're working on, okay, he's saying you're doing a fine job. You're very worried all the time that maybe that this project that has something to do with him, that maybe you're not doing it exactly correctly or exactly right. And he's saying you are. Okay, he's saying trust yourself and know this too, that while this project or whatever this is meant a heck of a lot to him when he was here, all right, it still means something to him, but he's not as attached to it as he was when he was here in physical. All right, so he's saying don't worry as much as you do. He's saying trust yourself, and he's acknowledging your intuitive gifts, and he's saying she was intuitive our whole lives. She always knew I couldn't get away with a thing. And he's laughing about that. He's saying that, and also he's acknowledging your healing gifts, and he's acknowledging his healing gifts. I feel like he had some very strong
Yes.
healing gifts. Okay.
Yes.
And I feel this, that as he's coming into your house now, is he's coming in with his healing gifts, and he's giving a lot of that to you, and he's giving a lot of that to your son. Okay. Because he's showing me your son's going through with all this stuff that's happening in the world. It's
Right.
distressful for all of us, and I feel like it's distressful. I feel like your son is worried, and he's showing me that too. Okay. And he's saying your son is absolutely fine and he'll make it through this. He just has to process things the way he has to process things, and that. Okay. So he's saying thank you because you take very good care of your son, and he appreciates everything you do because he loved him more than anything, just like you do. Okay.
Right.
He's also saying this to me too. The life you had together was a good life. Don't forget that. Okay. And don't question and wonder, could I have done more for him? Or, I should have done this or I should have done that. He's saying, you did everything. You were good. You were a good wife. Don't worry about it. We weren't perfect. Neither one of, he says, I wasn't perfect. Are you kidding me? And as I'm saying this stuff, I feel his sense of humor there as well.
Right.
Okay. I feel like one of the women I'm going to do this quick. The woman that steps in, she's a little bit quieter and standing a little bit off to the side. And that feels to me like a motherly presence. Okay. And I can feel her coming close. And she's saying, I've learned how to open my heart so much more here on the other side than I did when I was here in the physical. So she wants you to know that she steps in, and I feel her coming every time she comes in near you. It's like a little closer and a little closer and a little closer, with her heart more open and more love for you. Okay. Also feel an aunt stepping in as well. This feels to me like this might be your mom's sister. Is kind of where I feel like I'm going here. I'm not sure, but I feel like for sure an aunt. She's saying mom's sister. Okay, so or related on mom's side of the house, but I feel with her more lightness to her being and a sense of humor, and she's showing me you have a delightful sense of humor. Don't forget to use it. Okay, so in between the things that you're worried about, don't worry. She's saying you're getting it done. Everything is fine, and don't forget to laugh, because your laughter. Remember this: your laughter brings healing to others. Okay, so I feel like that's very important for you to remember that. Okay, so you need to do things that make you laugh, because anybody around you is going to laugh, and you bring them healing, including me, Irene, too. So I love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you too.
And Irene, the thing that comes through for me to share with you, that it feels as though like you'll get these little inspirations from spirit and get a lot of excitement build up, and then occasionally you might tell someone, and it's almost like when you let a balloon loose and it goes and it deflates, and
Yeah.
because there's a little mantra I want you to walk away with today. It's just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone. And the idea behind it is before you share one of these inspirations with people, really ask, is this person knowing going to be a contribution to what I'm looking to create or not? Because there's some people, though they are well intended, they can sometimes be Debbie Downers. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And so really like hold that just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone, because sometimes when we tell someone something and they're not supportive of what we're doing, even if they're well intentioned, it can create kind of a out manifest what we're looking to actualize in our lives.
Right. I appreciate that very much.
And your laugh, your just for fun part is so fun, Irene. I have so much fun with you. Irene and I do our Santosha's spiritual worship service together every month, right? And we have lots of fun. And,
Yeah.
her laugh calms me because I'm usually a wreck, right, Irene?
Yeah.
Laughter
Stay
more,
right. Yeah.
and laughter lets go more energy than tears. So laughing is like the best thing you can do. It's really the best medicine for the soul.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You look very cute, Irene. I like your hair. It looks
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And
Okay.
treasure this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
You're welcome, Irene. Leave that with you with lots of light and love.
All right. We're going to bring Gail on, and then we have Christy next. Hi, Gail.
Hi, how are ya? Hi, Angie.
Hi. How you doing?
Good.
Good. I like your hair too. You look pretty.
Oh my gosh,
This
thank
is
you.
like so fun that we get to see the people, right, Hank?
It is. It's
Yeah.
great.
I know. I love it. I love it. It's. I feel like it's a better reading because we're connecting better. So definitely.
Yeah. Well, I've followed 2 or 3 of the live streams and couldn't get in the lineup to get a message. So I'm excited to be here.
Okay. This time you made sure you got on. I'm glad you got on.
I
So I'm gonna
did.
keep
Yeah.
doing this regular, so you'll be able to as well. We're getting better and better with technology, right, Hank?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can hear this person. I should have asked. We should ask the next person that we don't get audio with. We'll find out like what browser they're using, so we can try to troubleshoot that. But overall, this is great. We can hear you and see you and interact. It's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. So Gail, I feel a couple things as I step in with you. Okay. The first word that comes to me is family. And I feel how very important your family is to you. It feels to me like you would do anything for family. And I want to say that family sometimes too, I'm seeing friends, because I feel like you have friends that are very close to your heart who are just like family, almost like your chosen family. So I feel like that's important. I don't know I feel like you like to cook, because I keep on seeing like lots of food. Do you make like and almost like
Angie, I gotta tell you, cooking is my passion.
Oh.
And
okay.
I always say that I'm exercising my second chakra, exercising my creativity.
Absolutely.
I cook
Yes, because I feel like
24/7, and with this corona, more than ever.
yeah, I'm feeling it's beautiful food. Like I feel like you could take pictures of it. It's beautiful food. It looks good and it tastes good too. And I feel like that's how you nurture and that's how you show your love. I feel like that's kind of what you do. It makes you feel better, but I feel like it makes the people around you feel better as well. Okay, so I feel and it's almost therapeutic. It's like meditative for you
Very
to
much,
cook
yeah.
a good and delicious meal. All right,
Yeah.
so and I feel like I gotta acknowledge a couple women who are stepping in from the other side of life. One who I feel like also enjoyed cooking. I don't know if she cooked the same things you cooked, but I feel like she also enjoyed it. And I feel like with her too, she had a real nurturing side, just like you. She keeps saying we weren't exactly alike, but we were so much alike. We had a lot of things in common, and we could sit and we could talk for hours. I want to say that she's in the kitchen a lot with you when you're cooking, okay? And I feel like she enjoys the aromas. Like I feel like there would have been times you'd have walked into her house and you would have enjoyed the aromas, just walking in and smelling that turkey baking or that lasagna in the oven would have made you feel better. I feel right away, okay?
I think that might have been my grandma.
That feels like grandma to me too. That feels like grandma to me too. She's saying that there was a very special connection between the two of you for sure.
Thank you.
And I feel like when you were, it's almost like if you were to name your role models of what, how you're living your life. I feel like she's saying, I know that I was one of her role models because I step into her house all the time and I see what she's doing, and I'd have done the same thing. Okay. She shows me this with you too. I feel like you in the last 2 or 3 years, it feels like you're allowing yourself to enjoy. All right. So I don't know, if you worried more or worried about the family more, but she's showing me she's letting herself do more for her, and she's letting herself enjoy her life. And she's saying how very, very important that is, to enjoy it. And we said this to Irene before too, to make sure you're laughing. Okay. And I want to say that I feel this after this whole, the virus thing, the pandemic is over with. I
Mhm.
see you doing some new things and making a difference. I don't know why. I keep seeing you down like in Lilydale or down at the Dale.
I'm
And doing,
seriously considering going for that spiritual insight training 1 and 2.
do it. Do it
But
for
I'm
sure.
waiting to see if they're going to do it with the corona. But I've been thinking about that for several years, and I think I'm ready.
That feels really right for me because I feel like it's time for you and I feel like you would love it. And I'll find out for you if they are, and we'll put up a link for fellowships, and I'll let you know. I'll let you
Thank
know.
you.
So
Thank
yeah,
you for that.
definitely. Yeah. Keep doing good things. You do a lot of good things for other people. I feel like keep doing all the good things you do and make sure you throw yourself on the list as well. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Yes.
right.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. Thank you,
Okay.
Hank.
And
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
just in
Good
a
to see
side
you.
note too, my favorite exercise is the forklift. So your gift of cooking is right up with what I like to do the best too.
Yeah.
And two things for you. One, the body and the being are two separate entities. Like, so the body is something we have. And when you're cooking for the people that you love, I feel like you have the ability to tune into the bodies and ask, body, what would you like? And so, like, not only are you going to cook the food that you love to cook, but you can also be asking their bodies what would be the greatest contribution for their body and the being, and start to
Oh,
cater your cooking gift to something that's going to be a huge contribution to the body. And I know this will sound weird, possibly not weird in this group, but ask the molecules of the food to shift to be the greatest contribution for the person that's going to be eating it.
thank you for that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I love that too. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you,
Cool.
guys.
You're
Thank
Thanks,
you
welcome.
for
Mel. We'll
helping.
leave that with you with lots of light and love. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you. Love and light to both of you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, we got Christy next, and then Amy is on deck.
Okay.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Okay, so the first thing I'm getting, it feels like there's a lot going on in your head. Okay, I feel like you're very busy and you're thinking about a lot of things. And I feel like you're trying. It's like all these. It's like pieces of the puzzle. Like I almost feel like there's all these pieces of the puzzle in front of you, and you're trying to figure out like how am I going to get them all to fit? Because there are so many important things that I want to be doing, and there's so many important things that I want to make sure I don't want to miss a minute. I feel that that's how
Yeah.
you feel all the time. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm hearing this. Okay. Every one of those puzzle pieces that's in front of you, or that, and I feel like those are things you have passion for. Okay. I feel like they're all going to fit. And I feel like there's no worries about it at all. And I feel like every once in a while, it's almost like I could see you being somebody, I have a goal and here's my goal, and you're good at like staying. I feel like you stay the course. I'm hearing that. And,
Yeah.
and I feel like, and then sometimes it's like side to side, we hear the universe calling, and how the universe calls is they deter us. Sometimes it's like, no, you got to pay attention to this, and no, you have to pay attention to that. And I feel like when that happens, I feel like I hate that. I feel like you hate that too. Right. But I'm hearing that what you have to remember is that sometimes when that happens and the universe calls you to do something different or pay attention to this other puzzle for a little while, that's so you can bring the right pieces back to the main puzzle. All right.
Sure.
So I feel like there's always learning that's going on. So I'm kind of hearing this for you, and I don't know if this makes sense, but it feels to me like go with the current, just go with the flow. Let yourself kind of go with the flow, and you'll kind of see that it'll be easier. But I definitely feel maybe certain things will be on a different timeline than you were thinking, but they're all going to fall into place, and you're going to have every single one of them. All right.
All right.
Now I know this firsthand, but I'm hearing this from spirit too. absolutely trust your intuitive gifts. They're amazing. Okay. I'm hearing they're amazing, and I'm hearing you know this, that you're meant to do that. You know you're meant to do that. So I feel like trust, like as that kind of goes along. And also because you're meant to do it, you're gonna have the clients, you're gonna have people, you're gonna be doing readings for sure. 100%. Like I don't even feel like 90%. It's like 100%. Don't worry about that. Okay. And
Okay.
also I feel this too with the work that you're doing. You're working currently
Mm-hmm.
and working really hard. I feel like you're working really, really hard. And I feel like I'm hearing spirit saying thank you to you and thank you for everything that you're doing. I feel like especially during this time, because you're making a huge, huge difference. And I feel like all around you, I see this beautiful, brilliant white light, and it feels like flecks of gold and purple and greens and yellows. I feel like all around it. And I feel like as you're walking around, you have this natural protection that's with you all the time. Okay, so and as you're with others, I feel like you naturally, because you're a healer too, so I feel like it's almost like you naturally wind up giving some of that healing, like to whoever's in your presence. So, okay, does
That's
that make
really
sense?
nice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that lands right now. So thank you, Angie.
Okay, cool. All right.
And then from I want to give an energy technique in a moment, but the one thing with the whole figuring out the puzzle pieces, it feels like you're on the bell curve, you're on the more empathic side than a lot of people, and you're aware of so much stuff that your body sometimes just feels tense, but it's not your tension, it's everybody else's stuff.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
become a defense mechanism of you're thinking, and it may be, I would bet that you find it very difficult to meditate. And the reason being is when you start to meditate, all that those boulders and all that shit, spiritual human in transition, start shifting to the top, right? And your brain's like, I don't want to deal with any of that. I'm going to think of anything and everything possible to not go there.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So all that can bring you up to the energy technique. And ideally, anchor this while being barefoot outside on the earth, but you can do it with shoes on inside. It doesn't matter. But into the left foot, just ask Mother Earth, what energy can I receive from Pachamama, from Mother Earth, that's going to be like empath dialysis, and allow the energy to come into your left foot. And know that as soon as it starts to flow, it can change in a heartbeat, because as you start to heal and let go of it, the vibration that could be the greatest contribution changes. So you
Okay.
let the energy flow in one foot, let it flow through your whole body, being and beyond, because you're more than just you have lifetimes and all this stuff, and let all that heaviness flow out of the other one, and just create this flow of energy in you where it's coming in from the earth, going out to the earth, and you'll just feel that. I already feel it happening as we're talking about it.
I can do.
Feel that tension just start to melt away,
Yeah.
and then you can start to really get back into your heart space, because it hasn't been comfortable to be there for a while.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that way.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. Thank you.
Christy, remind me of that little technique tomorrow. We'll do that in class.
Yeah. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
good.
That'd be great.
It's called what is it called? You could call it Mama Nukunu. It means mother's milk, and so you're just asking for from Pachamama the energy for whatever's going to create the greatest cleansing for you.
Okay.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Faith.
Thank you.
I'm hearing, just to close, have faith in yourself. I feel like you're
Yes.
better. I'm hearing this, you're better than you think you are. Okay. So
Okay.
have faith.
Well,
Have faith.
know that you know that you know, and don't let your brain talk you out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
All right.
Like,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on our cool show, right, Hank?
yeah, absolutely. We got
This is
Amy
so fun
next.
doing this. This is like more fun than I've had in a while. Amy,
But that's all because I'm
Oh.
with you right now.
Yeah,
hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Oh, and I forgot
Nice
to mention
to
Bruce
see you
here on
too.
deck, if you didn't know.
What's that, Hank?
I was just letting Bruce know he's next after Amy.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. All right. So as I step in with you, okay, I keep seeing this word over your head, and it feels like change, and changes. And I kind of feel like as I'm seeing that, it feels like you've gone through a lot of changes over this last 2 or 3 years, like almost a lot of transformation, and to where I can see you almost you're like a different person, I feel like you've released a lot, okay? Because I feel like if I go back 3, 5, even further back, it's like I feel like almost some heaviness in your heart, and like you weren't living your life. You're somebody that wants to walk to the beat of your own drum. I feel like you're very unique, and I feel like you need to do that. And it feels like if I go back in the past, I feel like you weren't doing that as much. And it feels to me like as we've gotten to where we are now, I feel like you transformed a lot, let go of a lot, made a lot of changes to get where you are now. Does that make sense?
Yes, completely.
Okay. And so and so kind of what I'm feeling now is sometimes when we make a lot of changes and we let go of a lot of things, we're not always sure. It's like, wow, everything seems so different. I know I'm in the right place, but oh my goodness, I don't even know who I am. I know I needed to do that. But it just feels unfamiliar, like like almost like you're on one of those floating docks in the river, and it feels like you're
Yes.
this, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, but spirit's kind of showing me, I feel like embrace this time we have now, because it feels to me like if you let yourself, I feel like, do a lot of couch days and have a lot of tea and some cookies and take some hot baths and things. Okay. And I feel like that's just what you need. And I feel like that will help, like almost to ground you, and it'll help like all the pieces kind of settled of this new you. All right. And it feels to me like as we start going into the summer and we start getting into the fall, the pieces like it's almost when you make changes, you feel like the leaves were all piled in a nice pile, and then somebody blew them all over the place. And I feel like what you're doing now is okay, I want to organize them, but I only want the ones that I really want. Okay. And so that I can be doing exactly what I want to do in my life. You have a pretty good idea of what it is that you want, and I feel like you're 100% correct with that. But stay open, okay? Because I feel like there'll be other things coming in too that you weren't thinking you were going to do that you're going to wind up doing. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm feeling like embrace this time right now. Give yourself a gift, because I feel like this can be a little bit of a gift right now, not to have to go anywhere, and let yourself, hey, every day you can take a nice long bubble bath and no one's calling you and telling you to come over and do something that you don't want to be doing right now. So take that
Right.
time. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Nurture yourself and be assured, okay, spirit has your back, and you will be right where you need to be. I feel like by September or October, somewhere in there between September, October, November, and October looks biggest to me, you will know. It'll be very clear to you, and the doors will open to you into this new transformation or this new life that you're building for yourself. You did the right stuff. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll leave
Thank
that
you,
with
Ange.
You're welcome.
And for me, there's two things that come up is two powers, the power of now and the power of no. And so power of now, I hear Neil Donald Walsh's voice coming to me saying, if not you, who? If not now, when? And really to embrace the time. Now, the other thing is, I feel it important to mention that you don't have to have a pandemic or something else going on for the ability to say no to people if you don't want to go do something. There's this whole premise of secondary gains where people will hold on to something that really doesn't serve them anymore because they're getting a benefit from it. But you do have the power to say no, as uncomfortable as that might be. But embrace the power of no and say that no now when it comes up and you don't want to do something. Very important
Okay.
to
Very
think
cool.
about the pandemic isolation or whatnot.
Very cool.
Yes. I have people in my life that I need to say no to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that you're saying no because you are being mean. You're just being self first.
And that's okay, because you can't pour from an empty pot, right?
Yep.
So sometimes you
True.
got to say no to the ones that are taking your energy and say yes to allowing yourself to nurture you, because that's filling your pot. Okay.
Yeah,
We have to honor ourselves.
and the other thing that just really hit me with that is it's not so much the saying no, it's that you're also very aware of all the judgments that other people have when you say no. So there's a distinction between acceptance and allowance, right? Allowance is the rock in the stream and all the energy flows around the rock. If you align and agree with or resist or react to other people's points of view and judgments about you, now that rock just got washed down the stream and you're no longer being you. So shifting to the space of allowance
That's a good one, Hank.
Right. So shifting into the space of allowance, let them have their judgments, right? Don't align and agree with or resist or react to their point of view about you saying no, because it's none of your business what they think anyway. But you're very aware of it. So if you can go to the space of, well, that's a very interesting space they're in, instead of, oh man, they're judging me and I'm aware of it, so now I feel self-conscious. So I'm just going to say yes because I don't want the judgment. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Yeah, I have friends that are all out there going, well, you should do this and don't do that. And yeah,
you know the saying, don't shit on me, I won't shit on you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if not you, who? If not now, when? Because part of all that is too, you love blending in and not wanting to have, what do they call it in Australia, the tall poppy syndrome. Like if you were to be all of you, would you stand out so much that now everybody's uncomfortable because you're so potent in what you're creating that everything changes? And be willing to be that change, and even everybody around you will shift right along with you if you are holding the space for being an allowance of it.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks, Amy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy. And Bruce, you're on, and then we got Jenna after that. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Nice to see you, Angie.
Hi, old friend.
It's good to see you.
I can't hear Bruce.
You can't hear Bruce? Bruce, what browser are you on, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm on Chrome. But
you are on Chrome. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Well, you'll just, if it's resonating with you, what she says, just give her a big yes. If it's not,
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. I'll know. I'll be able to tell. Okay. So, all right. So, Bruce, as I'm stepping in with you, I feel two women stepping in from the other side of life. All right. I feel one woman, she keeps showing me her hair. I feel like I go in like this, like she had really pretty, like I feel thick, nice hair. Okay. And I'm seeing like a blonde color or like a lighter color is what I see. She's very pretty. She was a very soulful person. I feel like what made her pretty, she was pretty on the outside, but really what made her pretty was who she was on the inside. It was her soul. Okay. She was a very giving person. She was a very loving person, a nurturing person. And she's saying that she had been through an awful lot in her life. And she shows you okay, like as though you came into her life, and I feel like you almost, I don't know if you literally did this, but it's like I picked her up and I got her to where she needed to be. And that's kind of how she felt. She felt like you, like almost, I want to say, if this would make sense to you, it's like you saved her. Okay. And she shows me that I feel like you were around with her toward the end of her life. Okay. And she shows me that you helped her pass. You really helped her pass, and you helped it to be in a peaceful way. And you helped her to accept the circumstances or whatever it was that was going on. You did whatever you could to make it good and make it so that she didn't have any loose ends. I feel like you helped her tie everything up, and you did it with lots and lots of love. Okay. She comes in with much gratitude and to thank you. Okay. And to say thank you so much. She couldn't have had anything better happen to her, I feel, in that last couple of years of her life. Okay. I feel like you made such a difference. She's also saying this, and she's kind of giving you a reminder here. And she's saying, yeah, and I don't know if you need this reminder, but I'm hearing you're very intuitive and you're very healing. All right. And I feel like for you, it comes in a very natural way. It's just sort of who you are. And she's saying she felt that the presence of you and your energy the whole time she was with you. And she feels it sometimes now, because I feel she comes in and she visits with you. I just feel like very gentle, yet strong energy is what she had. And she's saying that you're a lot the same way. All right. So she shows me, know that she's with you. Let her pay you back. All right. Because she's trying to help you as she's on the other side, help you open up doors to where you want to go next. All right. So she's with you and she's saying, just surrender to me, just like I surrendered to you. Okay. And we'll get you there and get you to where you need to be next. Because that's what you're searching for. And you're on the road to being there. Let her help you. Okay. She said you're not good at accepting help. You always want to be the helper. So she's saying that's a good thing, but let her help you. Okay. She loved you very much. Very, very much.
Thank you, Angie.
Yeah, and a great question. And then I'll give you a word in Quechua and a chant that will really open the door for actualization in your life. But a question to ask, not just for the help from your wife, but any of your spirit people, is what energy could I be today to be in complete allowance of all the gifts from spirit that I could receive? And that's not just for your wife, but also for your spirit guides, angels, and all that. But the energy that comes when I'm touching with you is like you have this rare natural gift of being congruent with the totality of your. I don't want to use the word intention because it's not really the right word. In Quechua, we have this word called munai, and the closest translation, it's a combination of will and love, but it's different than intention. Intention is like when you set things in motion. Moon Knight, it's like you're declaring your choice and will into the universe, and the universe only knows to say yes. So I feel like you've had these moments where you just have created something and you can't believe that it even happened that easily. But it's because you have these moments where you really tap into this, and the way that you can kind of settle into that ability even more is just chant Moon Knight, and it's in the heart space where this energy is. It's kind of the combination of bringing all the worlds together and expressing it into this field of living energy or declaration of will into the universe. So very balanced, and you're really good at drawing all these things in and then kind of projecting it out to create. Does that make sense to you?
It all makes sense to me. Angie, you were, of course, right on. Hank, it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much, both of you.
I couldn't hear anything he said, but it looks
I know.
like he's saying yes.
Angie, you're a thumbs up. Tell Angie she's a thumbs up. And
big virtual hug, Bruce. Big hug.
Thank you. And tell Gail she should go to sit 1 and sit 2. They're incredible. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right. And Angie, before I bring on the next person, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people on deck. So I'm going to say that we will go through Lucy.
Do we have questions? Do you want to take a couple questions like in between?
We can do that. Sure.
I was
So
just kind of thinking that seemed like that made sense.
okay.
For the
So
people that aren't in the waiting room, I don't want them to feel like we're ignoring them.
okay.
We're not ignoring you, you guys. We're
Well,
going to
there's
get
one
better
that
and
stood
better
out,
at this,
too.
and we're going to keep on doing this, and we're going to be here to give you guys messages and give you insight and guidance and anything we can do. Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah,
This
so
is another one of my friends. Go ahead, read it, Hank.
Okay, so it says, hello again, Angie. Hoping to finally get a reading tonight. I feel like I'm on the verge of huge changes and would love your insight.
Okay. So, it's very nice to hear from you, my friend. Okay, so yes, definite big changes on the horizon for you. I feel like you're feeling I feel like your energy is like very discombobulated because you're trying to figure it out, and some things are making sense to you and some things aren't. Okay. I definitely see some changes for you coming career wise. Okay, feel definite changes. You're ready for the next step. I feel like, again, you're not 100% sure what it is, but you're feeling that restless feeling that you feel before a change. Okay. And I feel like when you feel that way, sometimes you want to make something happen. And I feel like sometimes the thing that needs to happen is everything has to fall into place for you to get there. Okay. So I feel with you, you're going to know what that is. I keep feeling like fall. You're going to know what that is, and you're going to make that change. You need to be doing something. It feels more connected to what feels right to you in your heart. And I'm hearing this phrase, what makes your heart sing. Okay. And what gives you joy. All right.
And actually, Janine, is that you that I have in the waiting room now? Finally, yes. Oh, I'm going to bring her on because she's actually in. Hello.
Hi.
Since we happen to be talking
Oh my
about you, I
God.
figured we should actually.
Yeah.
I
Thank
love
you.
doing this because I get to see old friends I haven't
I
seen in a long
know.
time.
It's been a
Yeah,
long time.
Yeah, I've known you a long time.
Yes.
So, okay. So does that make sense about the career?
Well, I did
I
just
can't hear
change
her, so you're going to have
jobs.
to tell me, Hank, or I'll just
Yeah,
take it.
she said that she did just change jobs.
Oh,
And I
okay, okay.
feel like
All
you're
right.
right. A change is coming in September.
It feels like what you're going for. I still see another change there because I keep seeing you going higher. Okay. And I see you going into like almost where you are. It feels to me like it's going to open up and expand and be something that I feel like you're going to love even more. All right. I feel this for you too. It feels like changes all the way around, like almost like you're feeling like I'm just not where I want to be, and I'm not sure if I need to make some big changes. And I want to say, I feel this even around like relationships and friendships and things like this as well. All right. I'm hearing, don't make any changes yet. Okay. So just kind of remember that everything that's happening, I feel like in the world is creating natural change and it's going to shift things. Okay. I feel like for every single one of us, and we're all going to, it's like we're going to come out of this chute. I feel like we were put in this chute and we're going to kind of come out at the end. And when we come out at the end, we're going to come out, those of us, especially those that pay attention to these kinds of things and their intuition, which I know that you do. You pay attention to feelings and that all the time. That I feel like you're going to come out and you're going to be connected and you're going to know what to do. All right. I feel like there's one relationship in particular, and it almost feels to me like a little bit of a disconnect. And I'm hearing there needs to be, I feel like there needs to be some time spent and some communication, but it feels to me like sometimes life gets so crazy and life gets in the way that doesn't get to happen. So I'm hearing get through this time, and wait till both of you, I feel like, come out of this shoot. Okay. I don't know why they're showing it to me that way. It sounds weird. Okay. But I feel like wait till then. Okay. And then I feel like, right. I feel like you don't like to not know. It's like I want to make some decisions. I need to know. I am the same exact way. All right. I
Yes.
feel exactly the same. I hate that. But I feel like it's almost like when you're making bread and it has to rise and then you punch it down and it has to rise and it has to go through all those things before you can put it in the oven and it bakes and it's perfect. So I kind of feel like for you, it's like everything that you need to know isn't there yet, but it will be soon. All right. And soon you'll be at that perfect place to put the bread in the oven. And I feel like, of course, that's symbolic for you'll know what to do. All right. So I just feel like it's not time to make the decision. And I'm hearing
Okay.
this too. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable for a little while longer. It won't be much longer and you'll know. And I feel like things are going to work out better. Let me see him again. Oh, hi. He's so cute. I remember when you were pregnant with him.
Yes,
He's
yes.
adorable. I love him. Very cute.
Very cool.
Very, very cute.
And the one thing for me is to remind you that if you're looking for the quote unquote right path, the true right path for you is one that has not been walked on yet. So it's not one that you follow, it's one that you make.
Okay.
It's gonna be
And
okay. You're gonna be okay. Promise
okay.
you.
Thank
You
you.
always get there. You always do.
Eventually,
You're
yep.
strong. You have a lot of strength. Trust your intuition and trust your knowing. You're gonna be good.
Yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think the hard thing is there's so many changes. Like everything is changing right now.
Hank
It's
will
not
have to
just
tell me
one
what you're
thing.
saying because
It's,
I can't hear.
it's the one thing is that everything is changing and there's so many changes right now.
It's gonna be okay. It'll settle down. Just give it. I feel like sometimes everything has to, be thrown up in the air every once in a while. That happens in our lives, and then when it lands, we know what to do. We know what to let go of and what to keep, and you'll know that soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And a great question to ask would be what energy could I be and what choices could I make to make the greatest possibility out of all the changes that are present? Ask that question, then see what you notice and what kind of guides you to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm
Great.
happy I got to see you. Very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
And I'm happy I got to see your little guy. He's
Yes.
adorable.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So
Now we can say we're international. She lives in Vancouver, Canada.
oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
All right. So this one is more a question about spiritual activity in a home. Hi, Angie. Having a lot of supernatural activity in my home. Anything you can tell me about what's happening? It's really bizarre. Catching lots of things on security cameras.
Wow. Hi, Donna, my friend. It's good. It's good. I haven't seen you in forever. And it's a funny thing because I just thought about you yesterday. And for some reason, I was having a conversation. And I remember coming over to your house. And I remember we sat in your house and we tried to figure out what that activity was. And I remember we definitely felt that activity. And I don't remember like all the specifics, but I feel like it feels to me that where your house is, and I don't remember, so you're gonna we'll have to see if this makes sense to you, but I feel like you're on a healing ground. It feels to me like whatever kind of activity, it's almost where I'm seeing Native American activity there, and I'm seeing that I see bows and arrows, and I feel like at one time there was that kind of activity. And then it feels to me like when that ended and this too shall pass, I feel like it came to a place of healing and a place of peace. Because I feel like mostly you feel activity, but a lot of times when I've been in your house, it mostly feels very peaceful and there's a lot of healing that takes place. I want to say that it feels to me that with everything that's going on in the world right now, of course, you know, you're being called to use your healing gifts because they're tremendous and amazing. And I know that about you, but I'm hearing that from spirit. But I also feel this, that with everything that's going on, there are those from the other side that are stepping forward to help with the healing. All right. And it feels to me, again, you're on, it feels like almost a sacred kind of ground. And I feel like that ground is being activated and you're seeing it in your house. No mistake that you're living on a healing ground and on a place where these kinds of things are taking place. And it feels to me that what you're feeling with that is the energy of that land, and the Native Americans there are that's being activated very much right now. As I feel like it is, like if we probably had to talk about this with a lot of people, they'd be feeling these things, because I feel like they're stepping forth to help with the healing. And so I want to say that it feels to me that what you can do with this is sit in meditation and like this, and let yourself feel that energy, and let yourself, I feel like almost let it come through you. It's perfectly safe and fine. You know that with healing energy. And I feel like just activated. I could see it coming through your hands as you're sending it out to the world, to wherever it's needed. And I feel you're doing that and working in that way with very many others who are doing the same thing. Okay. And I'm going to let Hank go ahead and
Yeah.
I know he's going to have some things to say on this.
No, well, the thing that comes to me most is that for the spirit of the land, we call that a Pachamamita, the spirit of the land. And there's a special ceremony you can do to honor that. It's called a despacho. And if you want to, me and my friend Casey McBride, we do a Stir Crazy Shaman YouTube show every day. The time varies, but we could plan to do one, and I could walk you through, if you want to be on air or just in comments, I could let you know what you could do. And it's basically a way to honor the spirit of the land and all the spirits that are present there, and just be a little bit of a contribution to them, to acknowledge them and to give them a bit of an offering. And then that despacho you could either burn or you can bury on the land. It's just a cool way to honor.
Can I interject
You can.
really quick? I wonder if this would help. I might be wrong, but I keep feeling like you're going to do the sound ceremony virtually pretty soon. And I wonder if she'd maybe want to see some of that, because you do some of that at that sound ceremony.
We can. And it's entirely up to her if you'd like to do that. I'm willing to do that off the grid too. You don't have to be on or anything like that.
Yeah,
But a despacho ceremony would definitely be something that you could do to honor the spirits of the land, and just sometimes they just want a little acknowledgement. Hey, we're working hard, you know, and like you just do a little despacho ceremony, and they feel, oh yeah, we're loved.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget about them, which is okay. But I'm really feeling like a little ceremony might go a long way with them, and then also help you connect. And what contribution could they be to you if you had a better relationship with them?
Yeah.
What little informations and knowledge could they share with you too? So we'll
I
go.
feel that very much. That makes total sense, Hank.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you private message me or connect with me outside of Facebook, I can give you some tools for doing that. And it's a real easy ceremony, and we can even walk you through it on Skype or something else if you don't want to do it on a live stream or whatnot. All right, so we're going to we'll do a couple more videos, do a couple more comments, and then we'll call it a night here. So we got Jenna.
Thanks, Donna. Thank you.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
Yeah, I can hear you. So cute.
Okay.
It's good to see you. Okay. Okay. So as I step in with you, I got to go right away with grandmother comes into my mind, that I feel like you have a grandmother that's on the other side who steps in very near and very close. All right. I feel like she's saying how I said how cute you are. I feel like she always thought you were absolutely positively adorable as well. And she shows me all these question marks around your head. And I feel like you have a real curiosity for everything, right? You always kind of want to know, like to you, the world, it's never black and white. It's, I want to know everything that's in between, you know? And I feel like right now, it feels to me almost like you're on, I see the word searching, you know, and it's like searching for, I want to know what's in my heart. I want to know what my purpose is. I want to know what I'm meant to be doing, right? And I feel like that's something you're always wondering about that, but I feel like especially right now. Okay, I want to say it feels to me helping people is huge for you. Okay, and I don't know if you're doing that now. It feels like you always are. It's natural, but I see you doing. It's like the work you're doing now. I'm being shown, I keep seeing like an old fashioned radio that we had to like kind of fine tune it, right? To get it right, to get the station to come in. And that's kind of what I feel like you're doing now. And I feel like you're going to continue doing. So it feels like the same kind of work. I see you learning. Okay. And I don't know if I feel like some holistic stuff maybe in there as well. All right. That I see you learning, and I see you doing that and adding that to your work, and definitely doing some kind of holistic healing work is what I keep seeing with you. Okay. Does that make sense?
That'd be cool.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely feel that. Just trust your heart. Okay. Trust your gut feelings, and you'll know what things to do that are going to be the right things that are going to lead you to where you want to be. You're helping people. Are you doing work now that you're doing things for people?
Well, I have 4 kids who have ADHD, so I help them every day. But I work in a school. I work in a school.
Okay.
So.
Yes, you're definitely helping. You're definitely a helper for sure. Definitely. I feel that very much, Yeah. And you're very good at what you do, because I feel like you bring your intuition in it, whether you realize that or not. And I feel like you make a huge difference for the ones that you help.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a book I want to throw your way. It's, if I remember the title right, it's Would You Teach a Fish to Climb a Tree? All right, and it's specifically geared towards, they call them the X-Men, like these children of immense potential, like ADHD and all that. In Access, we believe that they're exceptionally gifted, and sometimes we just misidentify as not being a gift, but they really have a great potency and potential. I just thought I would recommend that book for you. And in terms of something holistic, it feels like you really resonate, or would resonate, if you gave the opportunity for plants, especially essential oils. Is that something you've looked at?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I use them.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to use more of them, but they're super expensive. But
well, they don't have to be. If it's not a multi-level marketing company, then they can be a lot more affordable. Like a 1 ounce bottle of lavender could be like $20. So
yeah,
but it does feel like you have a natural gift to ask the oil. Like, besides what you read in books, you might have an intuitive fact to say, I could use lavender for these things, but also a whole bunch of other things that are listed. And it feels like you've already started to develop that a little bit.
Yeah,
I use them all the time. I break fevers with them. I think nobody ever believes me, but
very cool.
The aromatherapist believes. So, and one thing that you can do too is, as you're working with the oils, have the intention to connect with the spirit of that plant, because then instead of just having the chemical experience with it, you can have a spiritual experience as well, and you can actually tell the plant what its job is for whatever you're going to be making.
Okay.
Cool.
Makes sense?
Very cool.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jenna.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have
Bye.
a good day.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks.
So we got Sharon, then we have Mike, and then we have Lucy. Hopefully Sharon's there. Are you there, Sharon? Sharon, are you there? Nope. Device is not connected. We'll try to come back to you, Sharon, in a second. We'll go to Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
You are on. If you can, turn down your volume a little bit. We're hearing ourselves.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yes.
How's that?
A little bit better.
Okay, got it?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, Mike. How are you?
I can't hear her now at all.
Can't
Okay.
hear me?
Well, turn your volume back up then. That's all right.
You want to go first? Go first, Hank. Why don't you go
Oh,
first?
I know Mike is near and dear to. He's my right-hand man at a lot of our events. So.
Oh, all right.
But
Okay.
you can go first. Yep.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Oh, I can hear myself.
Yep, he can hear you.
Okay. I'll pretend I can't hear, because I can hear the feedback, but that's okay. I'll just close my eyes so I can connect. Okay, so I feel right away with you as I'm stepping in. There's a woman who steps in behind you, and she steps in very close. I actually sort of feel it's almost like I see somebody. It's like she's short and she's like looking, trying to go like this and look over your shoulder. Okay, this feels to me. I feel two women. Okay, but I definitely feel this one. She loved you a lot, and she was very. I feel like she was very cute, and I feel like she had a sense of humor, and that's why she keeps doing this. Like I got to see over his shoulder, and maybe I'll just kind of step around and give him a big hug. All right. I feel like she was somebody to you that in your life when she was here, she was very encouraging to you. She always wanted to encourage you to do your best and to keep on going and to take chances and do exactly what you're meant to do. And she shows me she's very, very proud of you because she's showing me that you're doing that and you're doing that more and more and more. And I feel like more and more and more coming into your own and doing, I feel like almost like what you're called to do. All right. She shows me you're very unique. All right. I feel like a unique personality and you like to do things your way. All right. And I feel like a wonderful stubbornness with you too, that I feel that if you feel like this is right. Okay. I feel it's hard. If you really feel it, it's hard to bend you, I feel like you stick right to it. All right. I feel like she's saying know that she's with you. Okay. Know that she's extremely, extremely proud of you. She's kind of showing me that when you were younger, okay, I feel like she's saying you always did things your own way, even when you were younger. And there were times like she's saying I had to tell him no, but then I was kind of silently laughing because a lot of times he'd call a spade, even when he wasn't supposed to, and he was usually right. Okay, because she's showing me you have a real knowing sense about you with people. I feel like you can meet somebody in 2 seconds, you got it pegged, and you're usually pretty right. Okay, so I feel like lots and lots of love to you from her. No, she's with you, and again, so much love. She's guiding you, helping you, and she says you keep doing things your own way because that is the right way for you. Okay, and I'll leave that with you. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
And for
Was
me,
it Rosie?
what's that, Mike?
Was it Rosie?
Was it Rosie? Is this question?
Actually, I got a yes with that. I saw her. Yeah, she was little, right? I feel like she was cute and little.
My birth mom. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Little and cute, and feisty. I feel like she was feisty with a great sense of humor, and she gave her opinions. That was it. It's like she didn't care, She didn't care if she was little. She'd look right up at you and she'd be giving you that. It's like, that's it, You kind of knew when she meant business. You didn't mess with her. It didn't matter if she was little. So, yeah.
Back in the day, she would stand on a chair to clock you.
Yeah, but she's kind of saying here there were times she had to clock you, but there was a part of her that was almost kind of laughing inside. It's like I had to clock him, but actually it was kind of funny, and I kind of agreed with them. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Mike, for me, I would just encourage you, every time you pass a church where they call it the Assembly of God, think of it as a reminder of the reassembly of you, like it's the reassembly of the God within. And an exercise you can do at night just to kind of pull back any fragmentation of you being in other times and spaces. Because let me tell you, everybody, we call Magic Mike for a reason. And so just picture all these kites out, right? And slowly start to reel them back in. And think of that, each one of those as being a little aspect of you that might be kind of floating out, and bringing them back so you can continue to be more and more congruent and more and more present in this ever-present moment.
Very cool.
All right, thank you. I'm glad StreamYard finally worked out for you.
Well,
Hey,
I
Mike,
gave
were
it
you,
all
were you the one?
permission
Were you the
last
one
time
who
when
was-
I got off the phone.
Yeah, he's been trying to get on since our first thing, and also on Crazy Shamans, he just never can get on because it wouldn't let him. So
Okay, there
Well,
you
you
go.
got to
You're
give
getting
it
on. I'm glad
permission.
you got on.
got it. Cool.
I went in the StreamYard and I think I joined or logged in or something.
Cool. Well, I'm
How
glad
it worked.
it finally worked out for you, Mike.
Yeah, me too.
right.
Me too. Thanks, Mike.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And then we'll do Lucy, and then we're going to go back to Sharon. She messaged me privately that she doesn't have a camera, but I think audio will still work. So we'll go with Lucy, and then we'll give Sharon another chance here.
Okay.
Hi, Lucy.
Hello.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay. So I feel like it's when I step in with you, I see the word busy, okay, and I feel like I see a plate, and I feel like lots and lots and lots of stuff piled on your plate, and I feel like that's normal. That's a lot how your life is most of the time, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and honestly, I sort of feel this because I feel like you could be saying to yourself, I know I have to slow down. I have to stop. I have to start saying. I have to say no sometimes, which I'm hearing that that's a good thing. But I also feel like this with you too. You like to be busy, you know, and I feel like you like to kind of keep on doing things. It kind of makes you feel alive in a way, and I understand that. I'm the same way, and but what I'm hearing here though is you're always going to be that way because I feel like you always. It's like I want to learn. I want to do things. I want to feel alive. I want to make sure I'm honing my gifts. I don't want to miss anything, and I feel actually I feel like a grandmother stepping in for you from the other side, and she's saying you were always that way, and even as a child, you always want. It's like I don't want to miss anything,
Yes.
But yeah, but also I feel like you think about things on a real deep level too. I feel like you don't do things lightly. You really, really don't.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing like with that plate, okay, is I'm kind of hearing like as we go into this next part after this pandemic and it feels like a new part of life, is I'm hearing it's okay to be choosy though too with what you put on the plate because I do feel like it's hard for you to say no, and I feel like sometimes it's like it's full and then it's like overloaded and you don't even know what's on there, and I feel like sometimes the things underneath that are the things that you really 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 want to be doing you're not having time to do because you're doing all this other stuff. So I'm hearing it's okay to be choosy, okay, and I feel like being choosy and saying no to what isn't right is going to help you connect more to what exactly is right for you.
Mhm.
So I kind of feel like they're saying that it's actually that easy, like we're always searching for an answer that seems like sometimes it's hard to get, but I feel like for you it's just say no to the things that don't feel right. I'm hearing this like practice the pause, okay, and before you say yes, I feel like step back because you'll say yes right away, because it's hard for you to say no, and you want to help and you want to learn and keep doing things, but I feel like practice the pause and then think to yourself, like if you're a glass of water that could be overflowing and it's like, where how full is the water right now, is it up to here, then maybe I should say yes, because then I'm going to be overflowing, so it feels to me like gauge it yourself, okay, and know that sometimes when you say no, you're empowering them to figure it out for themselves, and that's okay, that's a good thing. All right, so I feel like do that, okay, and I see you still with the full plate because that's what you want really, but maybe not as overflowing, that so you're missing the things that you really want to be doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And for me, I feel that you have the ability to really get people to be present with you, if that makes sense. Like it's just if they're off and they're having like a bad day, you could sit down with them and they're actually present with you, and all that other stuff kind of gets the pause button hit for a moment. And the other thing, well, come back thought. I started going off and I wanted to go somewhere else with it too. Come back thought. Ah, well, if you haven't tried it yet, I believe that you could be a great like meditation because you really just hold this presence where people can be present with you. Um, and to kind of echo what Angie was saying, getting into the energy of responding instead of reacting. But what was that? I had something really, it was there a minute ago and then I lost it as I started to talk. Oh, it must have been. So
It'll come, yeah.
So I'm going to just ask a question. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can my body, being, and beyond be to allow this question or this statement to come through with total ease for you? And everything that doesn't allow that, I destroy it and create it. Yeah, it's really just, there's not a word for it because your presence is just that. Like I can't even put words to what you have the ability.
You're a leader. I feel that too. Like you're a leader, and you're meant to like it's like meant to lead other people. And I could see that like as you found more that peace within. Okay, I'm feeling meditation. I don't know if you're doing a lot of meditation, but I feel like if you did or studied some meditation, like Hank is saying, you could help others find that peace within as well because you really have found it.
Oh, and now I got it. Thank you, Angie. Now it came back. Oh, you have the ability when you look at somebody that you see the potential of who they are at their highest and best.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And sometimes you you have that knowing, but you also have the knowing that they're not there yet, but you make choices based on where you know they could be instead of where they're at. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it's a problem of mine.
Right. So to give yourself a, like, you can see their what they have the potential of being, and instead of making choices based on where they're at, ask the question, well, what could I be for them, or what could I offer them that will help them get there, versus assuming that they're already there. And that's where the little pitfall has been, because you'll make a choice thinking, I know that this was what they could do, why aren't they choosing it that way? And so, like, what could you do to be a stepping stone for them to get to that place where they're realizing their highest and best?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Plant the seeds.
Thank you. I feel like that did not want to come through. I guess that leadership thing.
I know. It's like all of a sudden I had to talk for that to come.
It's just like, yeah, that's so you get on our own.
I think we work well together, Hank. I like working with Hank. So thank you, Lucy. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Okay. And then Sharon, we're coming back to you, and hopefully your audio. Actually, it says your guest will need to connect their mic or cam. So if you at least enable your microphone, Sharon, I'm hoping that we can get you.
Or she can write a question.
Or if you want to write a specific question.
Write it in the chat.
Oh, I think she's unmuted now. Let's see. Sharon, can you hear us? Or not? We can't hear you if you can hear us. So why don't you, if you want to,
tell her go in and type in a question, because we can. Let's take a couple questions, and
yeah,
then maybe we'll have hers.
Yeah. So if you want to type a question in the group, then we'll definitely talk to yours. And I'm sorry it's not working out for you there. So Jenna was saying thank you so much. It looks like she was just responding to the reading from before. So glad that. Often wondered, because it was my grandma's past one I did not meet that lived far away. Oh, she was on. We already had her on though. Cool.
Yeah.
I think she's just giving confirmation.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yes is the answer to your question, Jenna. Yes.
Okay, so we have Julian Lee, and she is saying, my friend just pulled me in your direction a couple of months ago, and I finally got to see you work here. I'm really enjoying the sessions you and Hank are doing. There's comfort in listening to others' readings. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Julian. And I don't know if she might be Julian, Jess might be my niece. So that's very cool. Yeah. I have a feeling that could be it.
Oh, and actually, Jenna just had up. She is hopping on again, so let me pull her on. Hello again.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I can't see you. Here we go. Hi. Sorry. Hi. So I just wanted to know, like, this grandmother person come through. I went to Lilydale for the first time this summer. We had 2 different readings, and she comes through every time very strongly. And then obviously she came through again with you. But I just am trying to figure out more, I guess. My husband's mother's passed, so then I didn't know if it could be my children's grandmother. I have 2 grandmothers passed, one of which I never met, and one who lived in St. Louis. So we had a relationship, but it wasn't like
you knew. I feel like this grandmother, to me, it feels to me like you knew her, and I feel like I'm pulled more to mother's side of the house, if that makes sense. But I feel like I definitely feel like you knew her, and I feel like there was a caring, and you might not have known her well, but I feel like you knew her, and you might have known her more when you were younger. Okay, is what I'm getting. At. Okay.
Yes. No, that helps a lot. No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Now I finally got her question loaded in a banner. She sent it to me privately. So she says, yes, I can hear. I wanted to know what my guides, what I can do to move forward in the next part of life. And this was the question from Sharon, who wasn't able to get the microphone working here.
So I'm feeling a lot for you. I feel like if you, I keep seeing have a meditation and make sure you're meditating every day. I feel like your guides will start to come forward and you'll know who they are. But I want to say that I feel it's like I'm seeing 3 guides. I see a Native American guide. I see him smoking a peace pipe. Okay. So I feel like he's one of your guides. I feel like you're somebody that wants to make a difference, and you find yourself in situations sometimes where it feels like a lot of havoc or a lot going on. And I feel like you're in those situations almost purposefully in an unconscious way to help bring peace. Okay. So I feel he helps you with that. Okay. I also feel there's a guardian angel who steps in very very close to you as well. She tries to watch out for you and take care of you and helps remind you to nurture yourself, because she's saying that's very important for you as well. And she's saying you're a nurturing person, always trying to do nice things for other people all the time. So I feel like that guide helps you too. I also feel another guide that comes in that looks like he's scholarly, and I feel like he graduated and had a PhD or something, very intelligent, okay? And he shows me that he comes in, you love to study and you love to learn. He's saying you love to learn, and I feel like it's not even always conventional learning, it's anything you can get your hands on. Okay, and I want to say that I feel like he's with you, helping guide you in that direction. Okay, all three of them are saying it's like they're holding up a sign and it says faith, Faith. Okay, and they're saying here, have faith, okay, and know that they're with you. Meditate. I'm seeing for you, meditate every day. And I feel like journaling, like if you just got a spiral notebook and you journaled a couple of pages every day, I feel like that would connect you to your guides, but also reconnect you to you and your soul and your higher self. And I feel like if you do those things, you'll know exactly what's next for you, and you're going to be fine. Okay, you're going to be fine. And I'll leave that with you.
Yeah. And a reminder that when it comes to guides and everything, it's not that you don't know them or don't have a relationship with them. It's just that our conscious relationship to them isn't always present. And they're there, they have your back, and all they're doing is begging, pleading to just be put to use. Because I think of it like Star Trek, it's the prime directive, the rule of non-interference unless you ask. They're kind of, they aren't as involved as they could. So in the morning, I would ask the question, how could I walk through today hand in hand with my guides, hand in hand with the spirit of the universe, and create the most possibilities? And then and watch for it, because you might be getting communication from them, but because we sometimes have the tendency that we hear how other people get information, and then we start comparing how we get our information to other people, but maybe you don't see, or maybe you don't hear, maybe you just know. Maybe and it comes to you like a memory, and you just know that you know that you know, and there is no other thing coming through.
Yeah.
So give yourself some credit. You may be more in tune with them than you think.
I'd say, yeah. And I got to throw one thing in there too. Hank's right about that. You have to ask. We pray for other people all the time, and we ask for guidance for other people, and we don't always ask for ourselves. So ask, and ask for those signs, and ask, and they will help you.
Yep.
Always.
And
always.
Sharon typed out, thanks, Angie, right on.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So okay, thanks.
Cool. Yep. Okay, and we just had a couple more comments, and then this one person had commented earlier, and they're still with us, so I just wanted to bring her up on the screen here. Her daughter, Alyssa, would love a message. This is for Jean.
Okay, so, all right, so,
for Jean's daughter.
As I'm stepping in here, can you put that back up so I can see your picture?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like seeing the picture. Okay, so I want to say this. I feel this. You're very smart and you're very gifted. I feel like you have a lot to give back to the world. I don't know what kind of studying you're doing, but I see you studying, and I see you going on, and it feels to me like studying more and more and more. I keep getting teacher here with you. Okay, so I don't know if that means conventional teacher. Sometimes I didn't ever go for conventional teaching, but I teach. So I feel like you're a teacher. It feels to me like a teacher of life. Okay, I feel like as you're going along, they're showing me you're coming into your own more and more and more. People are always coming to you asking for advice. You're a fantastic listener, and you give fantastic advice. All right, so sometimes being a teacher means you're giving advice that's helping other people on their life path. I feel like this happens to you too, that oftentimes when you're giving advice and you're helping others, I want to say that I feel like sometimes you're helping yourself as well, and that happens all the time too. So I'm hearing trust in yourself. That's so very, very important. Keep on studying. I keep hearing that for you, is keep on studying. Keep on reading lots and lots of books. I see lots and lots of books around you too. And I feel keep doing that, okay? And you'll get right where you need to be. There's a grandmother presence around you too. She was a very, I feel loving, gentle, and nurturing with her. I feel like family meant everything to her. I feel like you meant everything to her in particular. And I see her with this huge smile on her face, and she's like, I'm so happy to see her. Like when you were coming to see her, she would be excited and happy all day long. She wouldn't be able to wait to see you and give you a hug and just listen to you and hear your voice and all the insights you always had and all the things she's saying. When even when you were little, you were always beyond your years, always, you know, and that's because of an inner wisdom. She's saying that you learned from her, but she learned from you too. All right, so she just sends you lots and lots of love.
Yeah, and the one thing that comes to mind to really say is that good points of view or good judgments can stick us worse than bad judgments. Because when you judge something as bad, like I don't, if something's not working for you, then you, of course you go out and try to make it better, right? But sometimes when we say, oh, it's good enough, or it's I can settle for that, and we stop asking for more or stop being in the space of allowance for more. So I would really encourage you, especially with the good things, don't be afraid to ask the universe, how does it get any better than this? And it's just waiting to show you, versus we get this in the energy of it's good enough. Oh, it's fine, and you settle instead of settling. What else is possible?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go ahead and post a link to for Angie's class Saturday while I'm thinking about it. There were
we forgot about that. Yeah, we're teaching intuitive development on Zoom on Saturday at 1:00, right?
Yep, at 1:00. Was it 1:00? I think I might have had it later, but we can change it.
Oh, I don't know. It could be no. It could be
I
later.
think I put it at
I
6.
could be
But
wrong too.
I think in the, if we
okay?
scroll back in comments, I think originally it was 1. There were, I know we said we were only going to go for an hour originally. There's like 2 more comments of people that were looking for messages. If you
Well,
have,
just real quick, we'll let you know what time the class is, and this is an excellent couple hours of a class on Saturday that I'm going to teach you the basics of intuitive development, how to get messages for yourself. You know, because sometimes it's so important, and people are asking that to want to connect, like say, to their spirit guides and use their intuition for themselves. So I feel you're going to get a lot of tools for that and to help others. So I'd love to see you on Saturday.
Yep. And it is 1 p.m. And you know, the reason why we originally had a different time is we had the Shaman apprenticeship program starting that weekend, but we had to push it back because of the stay-at-home order. So the 1:00 hour opened up again. So that's why I had two different ideas.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
And then there were two other people that had it here. So we had Sandy saying hoping to hear a message from her son.
Oh, okay. He was the sweetest, nicest boy is what I'm feeling. I feel this energy, just special energy. He touched your heart, but he touched other people's hearts too. I feel just it's I feel the youngness, and yet there was so much more, so much light. I want to say that it's so important for you to know that he is okay on the other side. Okay, I feel like he reaches out to you all the time. I'm seeing butterflies. I keep seeing birds. I feel like when you see different kinds of birds, I don't know if he even liked birds or liked singing and liked music, but I keep seeing some kind of a bluebird or a blue jay or a cardinal or a little yellow finch. And I feel like you should pay attention to those and know that when you see those, know that he's with you. He's with you a lot in the house as well. Okay. I keep seeing a brilliant, wonderful smile. He had the best smile, you know, and a smile that it came from his heart. He was so much, everything was so much from his heart. And I feel like a smile that reached his eyes, and he made everybody else smile with his energy and with that smile that was on his face. Okay. Know how much he loves you. He's saying you are a good mom. You're a good mommy to him. Okay. You loved him so well. He knew he was loved, and he knew he was supported, and he knew that his needs were always met. Okay. I want to say that it feels to me like you did everything you could do, and there wasn't anything else here that you could do. I hope that makes sense to you. But he shows me that you did everything you could. I just feel like maybe you would question that sometimes, or maybe wonder if I would have done this or seen this or something along those lines. And I feel like he's saying here, really, he crossed over when it was his time to cross over. All right. And I feel like there's a part of you that actually really does on another level know that, as much as you'd like to have him here, but know that he's always going to be with you. I feel him serving as a spirit guide to you. All right. I feel like you're always going to know know he's there. You're always going to feel him. I feel like he whispers in your ear and goes like this to your hair. You know, it feels to me things like that that let you know that he's here. I almost feel like he might have done that when he was here in the physical as well. But know how much he loves you. And I can hear him saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Not to everybody in the family, but I feel like there was such a special bond, a special connection between you. And he's bringing in his father as well. I feel like with his father as well. And I feel like others, he was very, very well loved by so many. Know that he knows that, and know that he's okay where he is, very, very much at peace. And I'll leave that with you. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. And for me, there's a book called Home with God, A Life That Never Ends by Neil Donald Walsh. And the premise of the book is that it's not the day that we pass. He calls it the continuation day. It's the continuation of consciousness into a new form. And relationships never end. They just change form.
They just change.
And
you'll see him again. You'll see him again. When the time comes that you cross over to the other side, he'll be there. He's saying, I'll be there. And I feel him like this with his arms wide, and he'll be there. Okay.
And our higher self is already on the other side with people too. When my grandpa passed away, I read this one thing at his funeral that it's like sending off a boat, and as it goes over the horizon, you say, there she goes. But as it's going over the horizon, there's others in the spirit world watching that boat coming over the horizon saying, here she comes. And there's an aspect of you on the other side that you've never been separated. You just have the illusion of separation right now, but in reality, we're all together. And that's where the real energy of what I want to say is that moving from the energy of missing, because missing takes away from the state of being. When something external to you impacts your state of being and you're missing someone, that's where it's really impacting the being. Instead, feel the energy of there. You have a preference for his presence in the physical world.
Yeah, he's with you
instead of missing, and that's just that shift of feeling the miss will flourish the ability to have a connection in a new way with them, or her. I assume it's a him. I think it's a him, but it's going to let the relationship grow, or creationship, I should say, not a relationship, to grow in new ways and different ways to communicate.
Leave that with you with lots of light and love.
Yeah.
Lots of love for you.
And final one that was patiently waiting. Donna was asking if there.
Donna was on before. Okay.
Oh, was she already on? I missed it. Oops.
Yeah, Donna, definitely. I feel like they're around you. You know that they are. I feel like your dad had a great sense of humor. Okay. I feel like your mom, they were both very loving. I feel like you always knew that they loved you. You felt very loved by them. And I feel very much like they're with you, especially during the holidays. You know, I feel like holidays were important to them. I want to say in particular, it feels to me like your mom is saying you were always there for her. Okay. And I feel like your dad is saying the same thing. You were always there for them. And I don't know if you worry sometimes that maybe you weren't there enough, but they're saying that you were, and they always knew how much you loved them. You always expressed that, and you always thanked them for everything they did for you. And I feel like they're thanking you for the same. They were so lucky to have you for their daughter, you know, and I feel like they're also bringing your husband in here as well. And they're saying that they were so very lucky to have him for their son-in-law. And I feel like it's like they're embracing their whole family. They're so proud of you as a mom. They're showing me that your own children are doing so well in their lives. You worry about them. You can't help yourself, but they're with you, or they're with you. They guide your children too. And they're showing me that everybody's really going in the same direction, and they're going to be just fine. Okay. So I feel lots and lots of love from them for you. Yeah.
All right. And I just want to speak to this one. Jenna was saying if she's seeing all kinds of double and triple numbers, 111, 222, 333. I actually had a custom tuning fork set made to all these frequencies. I call it a master set. And each one of them in numerology has different meanings and everything, but like 444 is an angel number, and it could be like a lot of angels coming in and wanting to connect with you. But each one of those has different meanings. But the fact that you're getting all of them, I would just say that it's a great time to really go inward and see like what places are you stepping into whole new levels that you might not have been stepping into before. I'll leave that with you.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And someone wanted to know about instructions for Saturday. So basically the link that we posted a couple times, just go to the link, register, you'll get a link then for Zoom. And then on Saturday, you basically show up and Angie will facilitate the class, and you have the ability to interact with her, and it's a lot of fun. So that's how you go about it.
I hope you come. It'll be great to have you there.
Come and bring a friend. Cool.
Yeah, bring a friend. Yeah, come. You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot. I'm very good at tools. I have lots of fun tools and lots of fun ways. It's a real interactive class too. You'll get to learn it and practice it.
Very cool. Any final words of wisdom, Angie, before we end our night?
No, I love working with you, Hank.
I love working with you too. So much.
Yeah, I love doing this. Yeah.
How does it get any better than this?
Yeah, whoever knows, like, everybody, sometimes you don't know like what you're going to be doing. And sometimes it's a matter you just kind of follow your gut. And I think that's what Hank and I both did. And all of a sudden we were never planning on doing this, and it just sort of showed itself and it came and it was right. So follow what you're inspired to do. Right.
Yeah, follow the inspirations and everything just kind of works out. And don't stop there. Like when you get an inspiration, always be open to what the next inspiration will be. Because that growing up and even going through fellowships, I was taking so many classes. People were like, well, you just got to pick something and stick to it. That's not me. I'm always like looking, what can I do next? What can I do next? What can I do next? And that's a potency. That's not a pitfall.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And always look for, I love this.
Potency. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And always look for the bless in the mess,
Bless in the mess. Oh yeah, we're going to have a whole segment. Yeah, we were going to have a whole segment called Bless in the Mess, and we were going to just talk about the inspirational stories from the COVID-19 and the pandemic, and just have it be an uplifting a whole other spirit inspiration segment. So we'll plan that and we'll create that too. Cool. But thank you everybody for coming out. And
thank you so much. We love that you came and joined us because we wouldn't get to do this cool thing if you guys didn't come and join us. So thank you. And thanks for coming on screen and getting readings too. We love that too.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we will hopefully see you Saturday, if not sooner.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.